Hey, so this is a video of how to have the multiplexer connect to the vehicle. What I have right now is my wife's Honda, but that's enough to plug in the OBD cable to the multiplexer and be able. I can at least test the multiplexer and see that it's connecting to the laptops. You'll notice there's a cable here on the multiplexer that looks like it requires an AC adapter, but it doesn't. It powers through the USB cable on this side, goes to the USB port, and then the other side of the multiplexer is the OBD cable that goes into the OBD connection. I have my ignition on, so it powers the multiplexer, and there's a yellow light here that always stays yellow. I haven't seen it change colors. And then there's the external hard drive I was telling you about. It plugs in into the USB cable. It probably needs more than 5 volts, so it's dual USB on that side. But this is how a regular OBD connection looks like. Now to set up the whole software, I'll try and see if you can see everything what I have. But basically on the external hard drive, there's a README here file. The README will show you how to install the virtual machine, and it's pretty easy. You'll go through it and you'll see that it's very easy to install the VMware. Just do everything it says there, and then this is the application to install. It's already installed on my computer. I just did it. And basically, when you install the virtual machine, you'll have this application on your desktop. You double click on it, and it will launch the virtual machine for the diagnosing. You see it's right there, the DOS. But before we go into the DOS, I want to show you what you have to have on your settings on the COM ports. Because I see it's 10 o'clock right now, and I think I started working on it at 7 o'clock, and it took me forever to remember how to set up the COM ports, and it wouldn't work for me, and I couldn't see the virtual machine, the multiplexer all this time. But you basically go into computer, right click, properties, and then device manager. This is your host machine. This is the laptop that you'll be working on. And you go here on the COM ports, and you see here the USB COM2. You double click on it, and you go port settings. The bits per second has to be right there at 115/200, and then you go to advanced, and the COM port has to be at number 2. Everything else stays the same. Don't change anything, but this has to be on COM port on your host machine, on your working laptop. COM2 there, 115/200 here. Okay, and this is all you have to have on your local machine. Now once you launch that virtual machine thing, and you see right here, you have to go to settings here. I've already set it up, but you go to serial port, and you see here it says use physical COM port. You have a drop down, auto detect and COM port 2. Set it to 2, and then OK, and then play. And it takes a while to load it up. You'll load. See, every time it shows you all these pop-up messages. If it asks you to confirm something, confirm. But if it asks for any updates, don't update. Like right now, it shows that it wants to install an update or something. I say remind me later. I haven't tried to update it. Maybe it works, maybe not. I just didn't want to take the chances and update it and just waste time with it, uninstalling and installing it back. And then once the Windows XP on this virtual machine boots up, you have to go into the properties there and check some things too. I'm gonna pause the video now because it takes a while to load the XP. I'll take a timestamp so you know approximately how much time it takes. Now I'll just wait until it loads. But then the cables you'll see. This is all the cables that it comes with it. I listed all the cables in there, but this is all for old cars, and there's the stickers for the multiplexer that if you need it. But again, all you need to connect to the car is your ignition. OBD cable goes directly into the multiplexer, and then the multiplexer connects through a serial, like an RS-232 probably, and then goes and connects to the USB cable on this side. Okay, so now we have this machine working. This is how it looks. And then the right corner where it says it's 1 o'clock, it's actually a little later than that, but don't change the time. I think if you change the time, something happens to the expiration of the license or something. I think it's set for like 900 years or something. But you should have the multiplexer show up there in the lower right corner. Meantime, I'll show you what you have to do in the settings. Same thing, you go here, start, and then my computer, right click, properties, hardware. This is Windows XP, so it'll be probably a little bit easier. Device manager. Now, you see here on the COM port, you have the same thing. COM port 2. When you go to port settings, you have to have the same bit rate, 115/200, and when you go to advanced, it has to show the same COM port second, and then you click OK. OK. So both the local machine and the virtual machine and the settings that you saw before it booted up, they all have to show COM port 2, 115/200. And then if you look now in the right bottom corner, you see all those green lights there. It means that it's connected to the multiplexer. What I've been trying to do for the last 3 hours is, because my multiplexer would show red, it wouldn't connect to the multiplexer. But this is what it's supposed to look like when everything's set up correctly. If you don't have it set up correctly, it may show you a green light on this side, but it won't show you the cable connection here. It will only show you the options on the left side, but it doesn't show you the option on the right side if something is wrong. Now if you go to the other tabs right here, don't change anything there. It just shows accessible, by the way. I'm just going to show you a video of how it looks like on my end, so you can have something to compare it with, because it was a nightmare all this time. And then configuration, again, don't change anything here. Nothing has to be changed. It asks you if you really want to change something. I click yes, and just to look for the settings, but it doesn't show you the COM port on this side. I don't change anything, nothing in the network, nothing at all. The multiplexer shows accessible and the connection shows green, so it should be fine. Now this is the hardest part of the whole install, is making it work with the multiplexer. And then once you have this application on the desktop, all I use is DAS right here, and you double click on it. It won't connect to my car because this is a Honda car. This is my other one, but it doesn't have OBD. This is supposed to work with a touchscreen, so I used to have a Lenovo ThinkPad with a touchscreen on it, and it was pretty cool, but it's just too much for it. Let me see, I'll try and I'll attempt to boot it up and just show you where I get to. Basically F2 is confirm and F1 is cancel, and F3 is it's confirm again. You'll figure it out. Most of the stuff is in English. There's some messages sometimes that it shows in German. It's mostly confirmation messages. Just click yes and that's fine. Yeah, all this time you have to have the green lights there, the green labels on the multiplexer. Yeah, by the way, those are all the cars that you're gonna work with. You asked me if it works with the S550, and I'm gonna go back. Yeah, it wasn't possible to read the vehicle data because it's not a Mercedes. Let's see if I can go back. No, not this. S-Class. You see, these are all the bodies that work for the S-Class. including Maybach. I think, yeah, the 221 is there, because you asked me about it. And this is it. Hope it works for you.